It's me, Jessica Viva. So, for a while, I've wanted to make a video discussing how K-pop affects self-image, and this is a really interesting topic for me as someone who, I have to admit, I'm quite insecure. In my opinion, K-pop can affect it either positively or negatively depending on who you are as a person. So I'm just gonna get the negative out of the way first. You guys already know this, but the K-pop industry is dominated by people who are quite thin, skinny, petite. Whether these idols are healthily skinny or not is a whole new conversation which we can talk about in another video. But idols' bodies that are skinnier, more on the smaller side, are the norm in K-pop. And I feel like a lot of girls will see all these body types and they'll feel horrible they don't have these body types. Some may even try to get themselves by taking insane diets, starving themselves, which is just not good, There's also a big problem that I find with fat shaming and skinny shaming in K-pop. So Kyla is the first person that comes into my head when I think about idols who have been fat shamed, and let me just say out here, she is not fat. She is beautiful, she's gorgeous, and her body is perfectly normal, and it's insane that she got fat shamed. With fat shaming, it doesn't only affect the idol but also the fans, in my opinion. A lot of idols who get fat shamed, like Kyla did, are usually a completely healthy weight, but because of this, some of them will go on insane diets and starve themselves even though their body is perfectly normal. This fat shaming can also affect fans who may be younger or easily influenced to think that this perfectly healthy weight is fat, which is just not right. I feel in a lot of Asian cultures, fat to them is completely different to something we consider fat in the West. I've personally dealt with this when I lived in the Philippines. I was told by my family and people around me that I was fat, but here's a picture of me when I was considered fat. Looking back at it now, I don't think that I was anything near fat, but because of it, I would eat one bowl of rice and some meat a day because I was so embarrassed about eating. So having dealt with Asian standards of fat, quote unquote fat, myself, I can say it's clearly very different to the Western idea of fat. And just a disclaimer, I don't think my family or my friends would be malicious or mean. I just think it's a thing that a lot of Asians do without realizing they do it because it's kind of ingrained, for a lack of a better term. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I feel this isn't really talked about as much as fat shaming, but skinny shaming is also a thing. I personally feel that skinny shaming is a problem just like fat shaming, because being dangerously underweight is bad, just as bad as being dangerously overweight. And I don't think people understand that at all. A lot of people need help when they're dangerously underweight, but they cannot get taken seriously, dismissed, and I think people need to understand that skinny shaming is a thing. Another way K-pop can affect self-image badly is that people get badly jealous. Jealous in the sense of, why can't I look like that? Why can't I have hair like that? Body, clothes, everything, like that. And it makes people feel bad about themselves. So yeah, some jealousy leads to people hating on these beautiful and handsome idols just because they look amazing, and it's really sad that people will channel their jealousy into something negative. This kind of transitions well into my next point about how K-pop has positively affected self-images and self-esteem for people, because I feel there is a more positive version of jealousy, if that makes sense, which I personally feel a lot. Since I'm mainly a GG stan, I mostly think about female idols, but this can obviously apply for boy groups too. But for me, when I get that feeling of, why can't I have hair like that? Why can't I have a body like that? I see it as a reason to work to get nice hair, to get a nice body, if that makes sense. I started to look after my hair, trying to grow it out, styling it in new ways, and I exercise quite often. I think K-pop has pushed a lot of people to try new clothing styles, hairstyles, makeup, which has made these said people happier with themselves, including myself. I've got so many fashion inspirations from so many different idols. I feel there's been a rise of songs that promote self-love, and I would say the biggest example would be BTS's Love Yourself series, and honestly, I'm not too familiar with many boy group songs, so there's probably loads that I don't know, but some of my favourite songs that promote self-empowerment and self-love would be Yes I Am by Mamamoo, CLC's No, Egoist by Olivia of Luna, and I by Taeyeon. So I feel maybe even if people, including myself to be honest, are unhappy with themselves, I think K-pop introduces people to new looks and styles, which can ultimately help someone to feel better about themselves, which is, great. I think another way that idols help improve self-esteem is their relatability. I think there's at least one idol that anyone can relate to, and I think it's really reassuring when you see someone that you can really relate to and you love them, and they kind of make you feel like you're not alone because you kind of relate to them so much. For me, when I see my faves happy as well, it makes me really happy. And a big difference with K-pop and Western music in that sense is that idols, they come off untouchable in music videos, but when they're off screen, they're being goofy, they're silly, they're like flexing insane houses, doing all of this cringy flex culture kind of thing, and it's a nice break from all that. Another thing I think helps with a lot of people's self-image is when a K-pop idol kind of breaks these beauty standards that people have. The first one that comes to mind is Hwasa from Mamamoo. You know, she's got beautiful tan skin, she's thick with 2 C's, and you know, she does what she wants. She doesn't seem to care about these beauty standards. She doesn't try to force herself to be light skinned. She's not, you know, making herself overly skinny. My bird's screaming. And I think it's really important to have idols like Hwasa in the music industry because it shows people that you can be beautiful and not follow these beauty standards of being, you know, a certain way. I'm not saying these other girls aren't pretty, but, you know, it's good to have some diversity, you know? There's always gonna be like Twitter trolls and toxic fans, but I feel like that's just a loud minority. Of course, we're only gonna see the negatives because who's gonna always talk about the positives? You know, people love to focus on the negative. But the thing is, I feel like fandoms are so like lovely towards each other. Like, for example, the main fandom I'm in is Merry Go Round, which is Momoland's fandom. And you know, there's just constant support for everyone and it's just really nice. Like when you have Selka days on Twitter, everyone will be hyping each other up and it's just such a nice like atmosphere to be in. There are just a lot of positives and negatives about K-pop and how it affects your self-image, but those are all I'm going to talk about. There's probably like loads I missed out. I was really interested though in what you guys thought of this, so I put a poll up on YouTube and Instagram. I just asked the main question. I asked whether K-pop affects your self-image / esteem positively or negatively, and I was quite surprised because it was kind of mixed on both of my different polls. On my YouTube poll, which I put in like the community tab, I was quite surprised because positive outweighed the negative with 64%. But on Instagram, it was actually the opposite, where negative outweighed the positive with 54%. I thought some of your guys' comments was like really interesting. A lot of people actually commented saying K-pop was like a big cause for eating disorders, which honestly really sucks. And you know, whoever is or was dealing with that stuff, I hope you have like a good recovery or, you know, things get better. Like, it just sucks, you know. Some comments said it was a little bit of a mix between positive and negative. A few people said they had like periods where it made them feel great and periods where it didn't. And many people that were commenting also said that fandoms affected their like self-image a lot, and you know, honestly, same. I honestly wanted to include what people said in like the comments and stuff and like react to them, but I wasn't really sure if like people would have wanted me to, because I know a lot of people talked about like eating disorders and self-image and just confidence and stuff like that. So I didn't really want to like put people out there, but next time I make like a discussion video about like any topic, I think it'll be really cool to have like people comment and people know that they might get featured. But just for this one, since it seemed very personal, I didn't want to like put people's comments in without them like consenting to it, if that makes sense. But when it comes to the main topic of K-pop affecting self-image or self-esteem, I feel like I probably missed a lot of stuff, like one of them being maybe plastic surgery. I feel like that's a big thing as well, but I feel like it's another topic that I could make a video about because I have a lot to say about plastic surgery and attitudes towards it. So if you guys want to see that, then let me know. But I really do want to hear other people's takes on this particular topic about self-image, self-esteem and K-pop and stuff like that. So I really want to see you guys' comments. I always like interacting and replying to comments. So yeah, I really want to see your guys' opinions because you guys are the ones who help my channel make it grow. So, you know, you guys are just important. So I really want to see your guys' comments, your opinions. Feel free to tell me anything in the comments below. I just like talking to people because I'm lonely and sad. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was good. I don't know. But yeah, remember to follow me on the socials if you want to keep up with what I'm doing and stuff like that. And stand Taeyeon. And watch for my, look at this, my clear skin. I'm sorry about my birds in the background all the time. Ah.